guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching again. Today's topic is kind of going to be on self-love and confidence and all things love yourself. It is something I massively promote on my Instagram, as you will know if you follow me. And it's something I promote to my clients and just generally in the gym. And it's something I'm a huge believer in. So I done a little Q&A on Instagram and asked people like what they would kind of want me to discuss in my YouTubes, and this was a common theme that come up for me to vlog about. So I just thought I'd do it today for you guys. Basically for me, self-confidence and self-love is the most important thing in anyone, not just women, that they can obtain. Like, if you have self-assurance and confidence in yourself, then there's nothing that you can't do. And I don't really feel like anyone can break you down or make you feel like you're not worth it, or kind of put shadow on any shine that you've got. And I know in society these days people don't really understand confidence. I think sometimes confidence can be misportrayed for arrogance, or kind of, oh, she loves herself, or she's up her own arse, she thinks she's better than us. And I think that's not the case if you carry your confidence in a way where you're so assured about yourself, and but you know you're not better than anyone else. For me, that's kind of what it's all about. And the self-love is important because we live in a society that's so critical and so kind of materialistic, and everything is driven by like image and money and perfection. It's not realistic. So if you have that self-love of yourself and you love your flaws, you love your imperfections, you love things that are good, you love your strengths, you love your weaknesses, then that's an amazing place to be at. And that, for me, is just going to kind of bring so much more goodness and happiness to your life in general. But when I was asked to do a vlog on it, it got me thinking, because obviously it's not easy for everyone to reach a point where they can say that they are confident within the skin. And yet we might say, but are you actually confident? Like, are you confident physically? Are you confident mentally? Are you confident? Are you assured about your soul? And do you know what your flaws are? Do you know, can you accept your flaws? Do you know what your weaknesses are? Do you accept your weaknesses? Are you willing to talk about them? Are you willing to lay it on the table, like things on the table, and people to see you vulnerable? It comes down to a lot more of that, I think, and that's kind of how I see it and where I'm up to. So for me, I would kind of say I've got to this point in my life based on like a lot of life experiences. Now, I don't know if people look at me and think that like, oh, she's probably has an easy ride, and she probably isn't like, hasn't got a clue what it's like to, you know, ever be bullied or picked on or to have a rough time. But that's actually not the case. I would kind of say for me that has come from being at the point where my confidence is being knocked that much, and I've questioned myself, and I've questioned what I have to offer as like a friend, as a partner, as a woman in general. The things that have kind of knocked me confidence and stuff in the past is like, I've had experiences in sixth form where I've been bullied, not in the sense where I was like beaten up and stuff, but I was just made to feel like shit. Like, my experience with people is kind of being, no one really gives me a chance, and everyone kind of shuts me off pretty much before I even open my mouth. People, for the past 5-6 years, people have pretty much prejudged me a lot before I've had a chance to prove them wrong. And obviously that does shape you, who you are as a person, and that does kind of change how you are when you meet new people and stuff. But it's been difficult to meet people. It's been difficult for me when I've been in group situations. It's been difficult for me as a woman. There's been many a times where I've just been talking to my mum and stuff, and I've been like, I don't understand, like, is it me? Is there something wrong with me? Am I not a nice person, and am I snotty, or do I give off a bad vibe? Like, what is it? I don't understand why people won't give me a chance, because I'm not talking 1 or 2 occasions. I'm talking a lot of occasions where this has happened, and I know people have kind of met me once and then gone away and said not nice things about me, and then will not give me another chance, or won't really give me the time of day. In sixth form and stuff, that was something that occurred a lot. There was a group of girls that just really didn't like me, and they would just belittle me a lot, and they just make me feel uncomfortable, and they just used to go around and say to like my friends and stuff like, why do you hang around with her, she's like really snotty, and just would make me feel like shit, to be honest, like every day in sixth form. And I didn't understand why. Like, I didn't get why people, because I'd never had any experience of that before. I'd always had a good group of mates in school and stuff, but I didn't really understand why people were just going out the way to be nasty to me, and like belittle me and stuff, and like try and make my friends turn against me by saying like, oh, we'd invite you to this, but you're gonna bring her and we don't like her because she's proper snotty. And these people hadn't even spoken 2 words to me. That's something that kind of really knocked me confidence, I would say. Another thing that's kind of been a massive factor for me is a relationship I was in. Whilst I was in that relationship, like I've spoken about previously on Instagram, like I did become really jealous as a person. I've become not a nice person, if I'm being honest. I used to critique women all the time just because I didn't want my boyfriend to fancy them. I just felt like shit within myself. Like, I just felt like I wasn't good enough. But now I'm out of this relationship, like, I still cared about this person, but it's just certain behaviours that I can like reflect on and think, wow, when I look back to like being 19, 20, and I was just didn't see myself as having any self-worth at all. Like, I had no confidence, I had no self-esteem, and my way of kind of masking that was to like, I was jealous. I was used to like not want him to like follow stupid stuff, like follow people on Instagram. If he used to say someone was nice looking, I used to immediately say something like that was wrong with it, which is horrible. That's not nice. But like, I'm in a position now where I can openly hold my hands up and say I was doing that because I had no self-confidence and no self-esteem. Like, I wouldn't say really nasty things, but like, I'd be like, if he said someone was nice looking, I'd be like, oh yeah, but like, well, I don't know, just something stupid, you know what I mean, to try and make myself feel better. And I feel bad for that. Like, I feel bad. Like, I was never mean to girls, like, to their faces. I would never ever do that. Like, I'm not that kind of girl. But like, if it was just a scenario where he would say something nice about someone, then I would automatically try and critique that person to like take his attention off them, because I felt like shit. They are the two main things I would say that have made me confident and my self-esteem on the floor. And just the relationship that I was in, and things that happened, and which to any woman would make you feel like shit and make your self-esteem on the floor. So when people say to me like, how have you got to where you are now, for the main thing for me was training. Starting to train was massive for my self-esteem and confidence. And 2, getting to know myself and reflecting on shitty things that has happened and shitty words that are being said, and instead of being negative, using that as a positive to then shape who I am. So any experiences I'd had with a previous partner, instead of hating on him, because that, like I've just said, that takes too much energy, too much time, and I still care about this person, I don't want to hate that person. So what I've kind of done when I've like reflected back on those scenarios is kind of reflected on my behaviour and reflected on, could I have done anything different to stop that happening? And the answer was no. Like, I cannot shape anyone else's behaviour, whether that's in a relationship, it's a friendship, it's how people judge you. I can't do anything about that. All I can do is be me and know who I am, and the people that understand that will naturally gravitate towards you. And I found that there was no point dwelling on a scenario and being like, oh, woe me. Instead, what I have to do is kind of, how did I feel when that happened to me? Do I ever want to feel like that again? The answer is no. Can I stop that from ever happening again? I can try, but I can't, like I've just said, I can't control anyone else's behaviour. But what can I learn from that? And when you break it down like that, it does help you so much with your self-worth and your self-confidence, and you like just knowing your worth. So that's how like I've kind of started to get to the point where I'm at now. That's like the first thing, and training was like a massive thing for me. So when I was in the relationship and I felt really shitty and I started training and I started weightlifting, it just cleared my head mentally, and I started to see changes in my body, and I started to feel good about myself, and I started to meet good people who were like-minded, who become friends and kind of enjoyed my company and like thought I was a nice person. And I started to think, you know what, I fucking am a nice person. Like, why have I even questioned it? Why have these people made me question this? Like, I am a nice person. Literally changed like my whole outlook on myself. Like smashing PBs, smashing weights and stuff. Like my body changing because I was putting the hard work in, and I'd found something that I absolutely loved. And it's training is something that like no one can take away from you. No one can take away when you've smashed 110 PB 3 rep max on deadlift. Like, no one is taking that away from me. So it gives me like an internal strength as like a woman training and lifting weights. And like you might listen to it and think, how does training even do that? But training can completely change your outlook on yourself, on health, mental well-being, everything. Like, it's so therapeutic, and it helps you grow in so many more ways than just making gains, which is something I always like push on my Instagram and stuff. Yeah, we make great gains and we grow an arse and we look fucking fly naked, but that's not what it's about for me. It's about the personal transformation I've been through since I started training. That is literally priceless. I could never put a monetary value on how much I've changed and grown. So the things that I've kind of, that's how I've got to the point where I'm at today, where I've been in situations in my life where I've felt like shit. I felt like I've got no worth. I've questioned who I was as a woman. I've questioned why I couldn't make friends, why I wasn't good enough for someone in a relationship, and I've not been a very nice person. But kind of what I've done from that is, since training, and I've had a mental space to kind of like get my head around that and reflect on things that have happened, and understand that if people don't like me, that's fine. Not everyone's gonna like it. I'm okay with that. And I think the older that I've got and I've realised that, I've kind of come to peace with that. Not everyone's gonna like you. You don't have to have a huge circle of mates. You aren't always going to look amazing. That's fine. And it's been refreshing for me to kind of show me flaws and show me vulnerabilities. Yet I still put a wall up, and I am very self-protected in many ways. But there's layers that I will kind of put out there to help others. So I will show me flaws, and I will show you that I've got cellulite, or I will show you that I've put body fat on, because it's normal, and I'd rather appeal to the normal woman and the normal person who's going through a fucking shitstorm but trying to like keep going in the gym and wants to build self-confidence, rather than kind of appeal to that whole perfection mask that is on social media, because I couldn't give a fuck about that, because that's not gonna help who you are inside as a person. That's what you need to get to. You need to get to a point where you love yourself internally, and that will radiate out, I think, and you will attract like goodness when you feel good, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how I've got to the point that I'm at now with like self-confidence and self-love. And that's just for me, that's worked for me, and that's something that's like progressed over time. And now I'm at a point where for the first time in my life I'm on my own, like I'm not in a relationship, and I'm kind of figuring out who Liv Mack is. I feel like now I'm at the point where I know my worth as a woman, and it's a beautiful place to be in, if I'm being honest. I know my flaws, I can accept my flaws, I know what makes me fucking hard work, I understand that as well, but I'm open about that. So like, I think being in a place with confidence and like a self-love just helps you switch off from social media as well. I think that is one of the things that knocks our confidence as women massively, like men as well. It just knocks it for everyone, but I just think it's important to bear in mind, like, these people on social media are real people. Like, real people have flaws, they are just choosing to not show those flaws. And I would be more inclined to follow someone who shows flaws, because everyone has them, no one's perfect, and if you just keep that in mind, it's not reality, and you know that it's not reality deep down. And be aware that there is a lot of Photoshop on Instagram, there is a lot of editing. You can only do you, and you can only love you, and you can only focus on you. So my advice would be to, if you do get affected by things that you, like, people, and it makes you feel like shit that you see on Instagram, unfollow them. Like, why are you following someone who makes you feel negative about yourself? Focus on you, and focus on finding that self-love and self-worth for you. So yeah, that's my advice, and that's today's vlog. So I hope you have enjoyed it, I hope it makes sense. Like, it's been a difficult vlog to kind of do, because it's a little bit bitty and stuff, but it's just like kind of a difficult one to talk about because of the subjects and like how I've got to the point where I'm at. Like, for me, it hasn't just been straightforward, like, oh, we're trained, and or I've always had self-confidence and then I grew an arse and now I feel amazing. Like, it's so much more deeper for me, and it means a lot more for me. So I hope, like, that comes across in the vlog, and I hope it makes sense if you're watching it, and I hope you kind of, if you have been through any shitty life experiences, just try and take like little steps to kind of like seek some positives in it. If you have any questions, like I always say, you can comment below, or you can message me on Instagram, and let me know what you think. Any love would be appreciated, and subscribe if you have enjoyed and you enjoyed watching my channel. So thank you very much. Peace out.